I think it is vitally important for us to consider what the new year will bring, because it doesn't seem to me that there is going to be a diminishment in the mad dash of Western society towards self-destruction. And very clearly, in what's broadly called evangelicalism, though I'm not sure how useful that term is any longer, honestly, there is very clearly a sliding going on foundationally. And as we see people who used to, and I don't know if you see it, but I see it all the time. All the time. I saw within the past few days a minister saying, 5-6 years ago, I was right with you. But I've come to the conclusion that we're fighting the wrong battles. And when you press that, what they're really saying is, I've come to the conclusion the scripture just isn't clear enough. The result of that is always, at first, a contraction of what you think scripture is clear on. The problem is, when you have something as obvious and foundational as the gender binary, God created the male and female. There's no question on this. There's no argument. There's no way around this. It is fundamental and foundational from the start that this is a part of God's creative plan. You don't have to go, well, no one really knew that until Matthew chapter 19. No, it's in Genesis 1. It's in Genesis 2. It's throughout the law. It's throughout everything in Scripture. It cannot be questioned. You throw that out and you're done as far as having any type of biblical theology is concerned. And so as you see that happening, you ask the question, why? Why would people be doing that? Why would people be losing their footing? And inevitably, it all comes back to whether you believe God has spoken. And I just know there are a lot of people that when that pressure is placed upon them, the pressure of freedom, the pressure of being able to continue to have a voice in our day, that it's real pressure. It really exists. And it's so much easier to draw back and to say, well, the church has been wrong about a lot of things. And maybe we were wrong about this too. Fundamental, foundational things. And it all goes back to, I've said many, many times, the vast majority of Bible colleges and seminaries in the Western world, English-speaking world, there is no belief in the consistency of Scripture. There is no belief in inerrancy. Scripture is, in many ways, very moldable to where you want to go with it. And so there's no reason for those folks to stand firm. But I think even amongst those who have in the past taken stances, we will continue to see this. And hence the issue of biblical sufficiency and the need to stand firm on that subject and not be subject to a yoke of authoritarian slavery. That is the creation of a traditional system that you can start off saying is subject to Scripture. But once you say that without it, you can never really understand Scripture, that's a circle you're not going to be able to stay within very long. It's going to collapse on you.